Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We'll quickly go through the thing now with the curriculum in detail a little bit, not that much detail. And we will talk about the relevance, what all these things mean for us in 21st century, inshallah. So let's begin with the strategy. We talked about that pyramid, right? The levels of the house. So the basement is what? Basement, the first level is Aqidah, strong Aqidah. So Prophet ﷺ's first and foremost emphasis was on Tawheed. In a society which has, polytheism, lots of idols, so they lost the origin of faith. They are originally from the lineage of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Quran, when referring to Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hanifan Musliman wa ma kana min al-mushrikin, very clearly. He was pure monotheist, not a polytheist at all. Quran clearly says that, but by the passage of time, they lost that origin. So Islam's major emphasis is on Tawheed. But referring to that first years, when you look at the Quran, when you open up even today, although it's not chronological order, how Quran starts. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Like all these things are talking about the one who is merciful, who is compassionate, who is the only possessor of mulk and everything, and he is in charge of the judgment day. So his Rabb is mentioned, Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of the universe. So those names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you go to the last, Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Falak, Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Nas, emphasis on Rabb. Uluhiyya and Rububiyyah is the major emphasis in the Quran. When you think, that's a current mushaf we have. When you think about the chronology as well, Iqra, Bismi Rabbika alladhi khalaq, Noon wal qalami wa ma yasturun, Ma anta bi ni'mati Rabbika bi majnoon. It's always same emphasis is there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is first and foremost teaching them who He is. If you know who He is, everything else becomes easy and secondary. If you know Him truly, if you have that knowledge, ma'rifatullah, you have the right power to challenge anything and everything possible. So that aqidah, that strong belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is the only possessor. No mulk is given to anyone else. If He has given you, He has given you. He can take it as well, anytime He wants. Think about your life. If He comes, sends His angel to take it, who is going to stop it? Think about Pharaoh's power. If he's going to send a mosquito to take away from his power, who is going to stop it? So if you know who He is, your understanding of Allah, Uluhiyya as a Lord, and Rububiyyah as a sustainer, as the major nurturer, and who is everything comes from Him, that strong aqidah, that was the major power. So Meccans, they were, illusion that they have power and they can do anything they want. They can stop them. If they don't accept, they can persecute them. So Prophet ﷺ taught them that this is not right. Yes, they can physically harm you, but this is not the power. If Allah wills, He can change everything in a moment. Just be patient. He has a plan. There is a divine wisdom in everything. You need to show that you are on His side, so He's going to support you when it is needed. So very, very strong aqidah, the names and attributes. Like when you study the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, over 900 times Rabb is mentioned in the Quran. Most of them are revealed in the first 6 years. The name Rabb, when you study the verses that revealed in the first 6 years, these are the locations in the Quran. These are the chapters in the Quran that this is mentioned the most. Same with Allah. This has mentioned almost 3,000 times in the Quran. It is across many chapters, but in Mecca verses, there is a strong emphasis on knowing Allah and having that strong connection with Him, having that strong Aqidah. Aqd in Arabic is to knot a rope. So you need to really have that strongly knotted rope of belief that you need to make that strong with knowing Him, with studying His name and attributes. That was the problem in that society. If you listen to pre-Islamic poetry, they cry. Those who are believers, they believe in God, but they don't know Him. So I don't have time, but there are poems. They are literally crying. One of them is that person's father, Sa'id ibn Zayd, Umar's brother-in-law, Fatima's wife. His father was a pure monotheist, Hanif, before Islam. He gave sermons and poetry. The gist of his poetry says that, I know you exist. I believe in you, but I don't know what you want from me. And I don't know how to call upon you. Like, he is crying. When you listen to him, he is literally crying that I believe in you, but I don't know how to call. We know now how to call. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, you say. This is a beautiful call for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran taught us who He is, what is His names, what is His attributes, how we have the right approach towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing Him and worshipping Him. That was taught throughout the chapters, and that was the focus for these people in Mecca. That's fundamental. You cannot talk to anyone who believe in God about, why prayer. Like, you can explain it, but it doesn't make sense that, prayer is a compulsory thing. If they don't believe, what's the point of talking to that person? Right? If they don't have that right perception towards the Creator, it doesn't bother them. I don't understand atheists in that sense. You don't believe, why it's bothering you? You don't believe anyway, right? Anyway, so those things, that's one aspect. Of course, the fact that revelation, prophethood, Meccans, they didn't believe in the hereafter. Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, which was a neighbor of the Prophet ﷺ, someone here, like Prophet's house is this. He's just right next to the Prophet ﷺ, one of those houses. So he would take a bone, and when the bone, time passages, bone becomes like a dust when you take it. He would do that and throw that dust and say, do you say that this is going to come to life in the hereafter? Literally. And Surah Yasin was revealed at that time, last page of Surah Yasin. Read it. It's a response to that guy. How, these trees, they die and they will be resurrected. It revealed at that time in Mecca, sixth or fifth year of prophethood, it was revealed, Surah Yasin. So a lot of things about fundamentals of faith, Aqidah, creedal matters, they were taught. Secondly, this part is really important. Although, in the thing, I didn't mention this intellectual education, but through this Aqidah and akhlaq related things, you see that the actual terms are redefined by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is really important because, like, these people, there are two layers or barriers. One, they are coming from Jahiliyyah, very dark age, and so many things are corrupted in terms of belief, in terms of manners. Akhlaq didn't exist almost at that time. Everything is made upside down. So, but another aspect is they use Arabic, but the Arabic that Quran is using, the message that Islam is bringing to that society, to us as well, is different. I'll give you one example. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. This companion is considered to be the sixth person to embrace Islam. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. He's a very, very important figure. So this person, once again, is that person who said, who is going to resurrect this, that person's slave. Or shepherd, not slave. She was a shepherd. He was looking after those flocks of Meccans and that person in particular. So when he embraced Islam, you can see the transformation. This shepherd is going to be the senior companion, one of the major persons to recite Quran to Prophet ﷺ as well. One of the famous person and most critical person playing a role after the Prophet to protect the Quran. You can see, who these people are going to be in the future. Member of Dar Al-Arqam, who was a shepherd, but the potential this person has. And Prophet ﷺ, how he is upskilling him and transforming that person to someone that is going to play a significant role. So he was in the committee that Quran was later on, was collected after the Prophet, that manuscript that was scattered, they agreed they needed witnesses. So he was in that committee. It's very significant role. More importantly, during the time of Umar radiallahu anh, he built two cities, new cities. One is Basra, one is Kufa. And he sent Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, this shepherd, to that city. While he was sending him to there, he said, "Oh, Kufans, I am actually sacrificing by sending Abdullah to you because he's going to teach you, he's going to play a significant role. Otherwise, I would keep him right next to myself." He is Caliph at that time as an advisor. I'm sacrificing by sending him to you. And then Hanafi school that we mostly Muslims are Hanafis, right? He is the founder in a way. His students are teachers of Abu Hanifa. So just to understand the role this person is going to play. Coming back to these, terms and defining terms. So sometimes you talk about winning, success, right? Seeing, hearing. So these terms in Quran, they are redefined. Success is in a worldly terms, I think Australia is in Jahiliyyah at that time, has the same mindset. So when you are, leading a company, you are successful. When you are, rich, you are successful. When you have power, you are successful. When this is happening, that's the success defined in that Arabian society, in that context. That measures for that are worldly. So this person is teaching us what was the measure for success and what success means, right? And this person in the 5th year of prophethood, Prophet ﷺ received a revelation, Surah Rahman, that wonderful, chapter. Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, Khalaqa al-Insan, Allamahu al-Bayan. So that extraordinary chapter was revealed. Prophet ﷺ did something that he never did before. He was sitting with some of his companions. He said, "Who is going to recite this in Kaaba? This chapter in Kaaba?" There was a silence. That means, yes to harassment, right? Raising hands in that hard proposal, accepting that proposal means you're going to be harmed. This thin companion, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, they describe him, they say his foot's like this, part of his foot's like this for a normal person. Very, very thin companion, very small, some sort of a dark-skinned companion. He said, "Ana ya Rasulallah." Prophet said, "Put your hand down." How this is going to work? Very small. He asked again 3 times. He raised his hands. That is what he learned from the Prophet ﷺ. Tested with hardship. Sometimes you're going to go through hardships and difficulties. He went to Kaaba. He started to recite this. Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, Khalaqa al-Insan. People started to get her punching. like they attacked him. He was bleeding, and someone came, stopped them, and he just saved him. They took him to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Ya Rasulullah, in my life, when I was beaten by Meccans, I felt that I am Aziz. He is defining a term, Izzah, honorable. They were Dhalil, humiliated. So you are tortured, you are Aziz. People are killed unjustly, they are Aziz, believe me. Because that is what Quran is teaching us. These people are the honorable people. The others are the wicked people, humiliated people. That's what Quran was teaching him. And that's what he was saying. And he said, I am willing to do it again. Amir ibn Fuhayra, another shepherd, this person. When Abu Bakr embraced Islam, through him 14 people embraced Islam. This is one of them. And this person is Abu Bakr's shepherd. He embraced Islam and Abu Bakr immediately freed him. Very young companion. He is again in the list of top 10. Like first 10 people embraced Islam. Amir ibn Fuhayra is one of them. So this person embraced Islam. Years passed. He got through all the education through the Prophet ﷺ. He knows how to read and write. In Hijrah, when they are going, Amir ibn Fuhayra is one of them. Prophet ﷺ, Abu Bakr, and there was a non-Muslim guide accompanying them. He is part of that journey as well. And Prophet ﷺ received revelation. He dictated to Amir ibn Fuhayra. He became Wahi scribe. So he was writing down a revelation on a document. So these details are really important. But later on, in the 5th year of Hijrah in Medina, a group of a tribe, they came and asked for a teacher. And they insisted, Prophet ﷺ teaching, sending them a teacher. He was unwillingly, that story is very interesting, by the way, but I'll skip, I think, very quickly. He was part of that. They were assassinated and killed, 70 of them, all the teachers. This famous Bi'ri Ma'una and Raji' incident in the 5th year. There was, when Amir was attacked, there is a person called Jafar ibn Sulman. He shot an arrow to kill Amir. When he was hit by that arrow, Amir ibn Fuhayra shouted, Fuztu bi Rabbil Kaaba. Fuztu bi Rabbil Kaaba. By the Lord of the Kaaba, I succeeded. Now I made it, he said. I made it. What is success? This person, Jabbar, was shocked. I'm killing him. I'm a successor. I'm a successful person. I am a victorious person. But this person says, I am successful. What does it mean? And he started to search. Amir ibn Fuhayra, he was martyred. He passed away. Jafar ibn Sulma found someone, another companion, and discussed those things with him. And he learned what success means. Embraced Islam. After this, like when he was dying even, hundreds of people, like currently in UK, the number of converts in the past 1 year tripled in one mosque only, Cambridge Muslim College Mosque. Just yesterday, I was listening to Abdul Hakim Murad. He was explaining those things. 1 year. Why? Someone killed, and they said, Fuztu bi Rabbil Kaaba. I have now saved my life. I'm successful. Because of that, some people are embracing Islam. So many things we can mention, like the terms. A'ma in Arabic means blind. Quran says, فَمَنْ كَانَ فِي هَذِهِ أَعْمَى فهو في الآخرة أعمى وأضل سبيلا. Surah Isra. So A'ma in Mecca is, famous Abdullah ibn Maktoum, like those people who are literally A'ma. But Quran is saying whoever is A'ma in this world will be A'ma in the hereafter as well. Defining the term differently. Seeing is not just this literal, blindness. Jahil, Jahala, who is like normally the nickname for Abu Jahil is Abu al-Hakam. Prophet ﷺ changed that to Abu Jahil. He is defining the term. So you can think about it. Islam is redefining terms for us. Arabic is in that sense also advanced with the revelation. So another part is, I think we talked about this akhlaq side of it, but akhlaq side of it, there is a two side for this. So Quran really emphasized in those early verses, if you read Surah Muzammil, Surah Muddathir, Surah Qalam, there is a great emphasis. These are first verses to be revealed on morality. So you see this, how Quran is encouraging people to improve their morality, improve their spirituality. It has two sides. This education, in terms of spiritual education, you, as a person with your connection to your Lord, you have a deep spirituality through your worship, through your sensitivity about the teachings of Islam. But on the other hand, with your interactions with the rest of the society, rest of the creation, Quran and Islam is teaching me as an individual what kind of morality, what kind of compass I should have when I deal with my family members, when I deal with this animal out there or this tree. There is an akhlaq that Islam is teaching us. And this is very much emphasized in these verses. If we can give one example, think about the Jafar ibn Abi Talib. Jafar ibn Abi Talib, Abu Talib's son, Ali's brother, older brother, 5 years older than Ali. Ali is one of the earliest converts. Jafar is one of the earliest first believers again. So when he embraced Islam, he was at the age of 15. Ali was 10. He is 5 years older than him. So, and then 5 years later, because of those persecutions and hardship, they went to Abyssinia, right? Now, he is at the age of 21, Jafar ibn Abi Talib. He is in the palace of a king. Imagine, that young boy in the court of Abyssinian king. Prophet ﷺ appointed him as a leader of that congregation, or its ambassador. In my words, I use ambassador for first ambassador of Islam, Jafar ibn Abi Talib, 20 years old boy. Could have been girl as well. Like he's using so many, but I'm giving this example. So this king is asking lots of questions. This person is so confident and answering all those questions very confidently and very eloquently. I read a couple of articles, and there is a PhD thesis written about the linguistic aspect, the eloquence of Jafar's speech in Arabic. Like they are detailing his biography, how he can speak such details, extraordinary speech he is going to deliver there. How he is capable of doing that? Like think about it. Because he was there in Arqam, in that house, he was tutored, mentored by Prophet ﷺ 5 years before this incident. And miraculously, just before their departure, Surah Maryam revealed, which will be asked as well by the king. So Allah is supporting you if you are on His side in a different ways. You don't know in what way He is going to support you, but you should believe Him and have trust in Him and His plan and have that strong connection to Him. He will aid you when there is a Very difficult time if you have that very strong connection with him. So he asked lots of questions about their pre-Islamic practices, who they are, what they are trying to achieve, what is the mission of the Prophet, what he's teaching. You see the exact same things. He is focusing on akhlaq. He is emphasizing on the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the transformation Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is making. He said, we didn't do anything wrong. Ask this person, Amr ibn Las, did we steal anything from them that he's coming to request? He said, no. Are we slaves that we are escaping from our masters? No. Did we kill anyone that you are asking for compensation? No. A very skilled person, very, very talented, very powerful. He is capable to have that conversation with the king. Last one is this one. 1/5 of the Quran talks about qasasul anbiya, which means the stories of prophets. To be very precise, it's 17% of the Quran. All of them are revealed in Mecca. All of them. All of them are revealed in Mecca, and majority of them are revealed in that first 6 years. Why these verses are revealing at that time? It is teaching the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are good people, prophets, bad people, pharaohs, Nimrods, right? And the pattern between the belief and disbelief, the struggle between the two is same. History is cyclical. In our understanding, it's not linear. So in Western philosophy, history, it is linear. In ours, it's history cyclical. So things repeat itself, not in exact manner, in a similar way. So prophetic stories are teaching these ideal behaviors for those who are on the right side, the behavior of oppressors and their followers. So what path are you going to take? And what kind of challenges you should expect? That is qadar, destiny of a believer. If you say, amantu, al-mu'minu, so if you say, I believe, al-mu'minu balawiyun, you need to be ready for hardship. That is the path. This is the divine destiny. That is a natural, like there is a, law, natural law, right? That you can't fight against that. Spirituality has a law as well, like a natural law. You need to understand that law. You can't fight. You can't anticipate that this is not going to fall. That's a natural law, right? It will fall if you drop something. If you believe, there are divine laws as well. And you need to be ready for hardship. You need to be ready for persecutions. You need to show your side, because this word is test, is not eternal. That is what Quran is teaching us. And these people are really educated very well there. So very briefly, let's talk about what all these things are telling us, right? In these modern times. We already made a lot of connections, but just to recap. So think about that 6 years of Mecca, right? And think about what Prophet ﷺ was doing this in this humble dwelling. It's a house at the end of the day. And what would happen if he didn't utilize this strategy, right? And what he was trying to achieve. So when I look at that, there are few things. One is, these people, majority of them are young people, right? And some people are constantly pressuring them, provoking them to jeopardize their mission, and also radicalize them, if we are going to put in a modern terms. People become radical in their views when they are under extreme pressure. So their emotions are at the height. And these people are very vulnerable. If these emotions are not guided, and that potential is not guided to the right channel, that is going to cause a lot of damage to the mission. and how this can be achieved. So Prophet ﷺ turning this potential into a positive action. So they are not preoccupied with oppression. That is not, it's not their major agenda, that they are only occupied with that. No, Prophet ﷺ, he utilized this power and strategy, channeled that into an action by controlling their emotion, not wasting their time in those avenues. So he really built resilience of this community. But this, I put like this word, there are a lot to unpack on this. This episode of Prophet's life is teaching us the sunnah of helplessness. It is teaching us the sunnah of help. We are all helpless. What can I do in this situation? Very helpless situation. Do I accept this and say I can't do anything? Do I build on something, on my personal growth, skill set? Like, yes, I can't do anything in relation to this, but I can do millions of things in other avenues. So that positive action is really important under that extreme situation. That is sunnah of helplessness. Don't forget that. Another one, Prophet ﷺ, he said, his mission, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ مُعَلِّمًا. إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ مُعَلِّمًا. Prophet says, this is the first hadith of Ibn Majah's Kitabul Ilm, the book of knowledge. In Ibn Majah's book, famous hadith collection, first hadith says, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ مُعَلِّمًا. I have been sent only as a teacher, educator. So he really focused on education, education, education. How you can liberate people from wrong beliefs, ideologies. So we are don't assume that Jahiliyyah is pre-Islamic thing, right? We are in the darkest, deepest darkness of Jahiliyyah as modern people. Believe me. If you compare the moral collapse of Mecca to the moral collapse of Melbourne, statistically, you are worst, Melbournians. I didn't do this study, but I am confident. So we are in the deepest darkness of Jahiliyyah. We don't know. We don't realize sometimes. Or society is in that darkness. We take it lightly. But Prophet ﷺ, he said this will only be dispelled through education. Education. I actually put that 3 times. I said, I'll just reduce it to 2 for now and put 3 dots at least. So that education has 2 sides. One, to transform society collectively, you need education. There is no other remedy. That's what Quran, that's what the Prophet, he is teaching us. How he transformed that Jahiliyyah into the age of happiness and light through education, through Dar Al-Arqam. In Medina, when he arrived in Medina, first thing he did, establish the mosque and the madrasa, Sufa, same day, as soon as he stepped in the land of Medina. Education, once again. That is how you can make this message, sustainable. If you don't have right people, have educated people, and institutions like Dar Al-Arqam, in Sufa it becomes more formal institution. Because of situation, it was secret. In Medina, it was openly there. Those people, some people, they assume that they were poor people, nowhere to go. Come on. Many times they came to the Prophet ﷺ complaining about their situation. He insisted. He didn't say, Abu Bakr, you support them, oh, this is war booty, ghanima, we got fortune now from this battle. Go and now establish your business. No, he insisted that you have to dedicate your life to education, because those people will be teachers for future generations. So he really emphasized on that. So societal transformation is like that. Individually as well, you need to educate yourself. You need to know your Lord. You need to define terms. It should be your own belonging, not blind imitation of your parents and forefathers. You have to establish that yourself, every single thing. Why you're believing in that? You need to study. That's your job as a believer, as a Muslim. This is teaching us. That's how you perfect yourself, reach the Kamal, perfection in your spirituality. Each and every single one of us has that goal in front of us. I need to be a better person than I am today, tomorrow. I don't have any other choice. You have to build on that every single day. Adversity in the Prophet's life equals to growth opportunity. That's when you read the study Sirah in detail. Difficulty in Prophet's terms is an opportunity. It's never ever is a difficulty. He always turned this adversity into an opportunity to grow. He was not shocked by the calamity and said, well, okay, what we're gonna do now? He's not panicking at all. We know these people by name, right? Study their life later on, when they are over 50, what they die, if they are alive, what people were doing. Like Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he is in charge of the city, literally, of Kufa, and he is a fountain of this pure water of Hanafi school. It's a very, very, like Hanafi school, don't take it lightly. Modern Western law constitutions, there are studies about this. They are influenced by this madrasa of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Literally, like line by line, the exact articulation is inspired. Some of constitutions of Western, like French constitution, for instance, there are studies on that, the parallels between. Like he turned these people into inspirational guides and leaders and scholars. This is also teaching a risk management for us. Like think about that. Okay, let's go to the first year, and let's assume, according to some sources, 15 to 20 people embraced Islam. If Prophet ﷺ wasn't calculating this risk, and he, like after the 40 days, that Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas incident, he didn't say anything. He didn't see the risk that is coming, in the future. He was silent. What will happen? It would have been chaos or end of this mission. There is no other conclusion for that story. Literally, it would have been internal conflict, civil war in Mecca, or mission of the Prophet would have died in that very infant stage. So that's really teaching us, how you are going to stabilize these risks and manage that and turn into an opportunity that you don't lose. So we all need to take some inspirations from that. And this is the last one, some of the organization and leadership skills. Like these people are literally, they are assigned. You are responsible from these people. It's teaching these people how to organize a group of people, leadership skills. That's why later on they are leaders. Each one of them are a leader of the community, but they are learning how to work with a group, how to work with a leader, how to sometimes obey, sometimes give your idea when you're consulting with them, how to really rise up this task together. So if there is a task assigned to you, how you're going to shoulder that. It teaches a lot of skills, really, when you have that group setting and you are assigned as a role, as a leader of that small community. It's not theory. That's the main point, perhaps. He's not just teaching theory, but how you're going to implement all these things in the life that is going to touch every single person on the ground. So that's the major thing that we also learned from that. Hope that, we have learned something about Dar Al-Arqam. There is a lot, right? In Arqam, it's not 3 lines.